Hello everyone, Sayian here back again with more Dragonball Terarria Calamity Season 2. Now I'm going to be slowing down a bit with Battles 2 content simply because, well, even though it's my most popular, Battles 2 right now is kind of a bit boring to play. Even once 1.06 was kind of announced, it hasn't come out yet at the time I'm recording this, and really going with DFA, it is a bit annoying trying to level up Ace as I really only get like 200, 300 experience per match. So what am I doing here? Well, if you remember in Dragon Ball Terraria Season 1, you actually unlock Super Saiyan 1 once you beat Skeletron. You have to die to any boss. Afterwards, you have like a 25% chance of being in said form. So basically what I'm doing now is just, well, dying to Cthulhu. I probably should have refilled my key before I actually decided to fight Cthulhu, because as you see I went Super Saiyan for 1 second and then just boom, it just went away. I guess looking back, I probably should have ended last episode showing the I guess 2 new forms you technically have. First is Kaioken. I don't believe I actually showed that one yet. I do show it briefly. You really won't be seeing too much Kaioken, but here is Super Saiyan 1. It's pretty cool. If you've seen Season 1, you already know what it looks like. You really won't be seeing too much of this form in the beginning simply because it drains too much ki, and you really don't have much ki regeneration until you get into hard mode. So really, you can't really use this form too much because the damage it gives isn't really worth the damage and speed bonuses you get from it isn't really worth the ki trade-off, as ki weapons of course are going to be your main DPS against bosses. You really won't have much of an opportunity to get close and fight much bosses with the sword. So next form you unlock with Super Saiyan and Kaioken is, well, you unlock Super Kaioken, which is what you can see here. It looks like Kaioken, but you also have some super main elements thrown in there. You will never see this form in this series. I'll spoil it right now. Even though I haven't really finished playing it, I haven't actually logged onto this world in forever. I was just really just hammering out battles too, really trying to unlock Ground Zero, but I just kind of lost motivation to do so. So yeah, this is pretty much a Super Kaioken. As you can see, the ki drain is huge, which is why you'll never see this form. By the time this form becomes actually viable to use, you have a lot stronger forms that you actually unlock and can maintain for a lot longer. And also, it also drains your health as well as your ki, so it's generally not worth going for over regular Super Saiyan forms. It is a bit of a shame, Super Saiyan, forms are kind of, the staple of the Dragon Ball series, and it is kind of sad that, you can't really use those forms much too often, simply just because the amount of ki you have and the amount of ki regeneration you receive just doesn't offset the cost of, just using these forms. I get it, they're super powerful, and you shouldn't be able to use them all the time, just in pre-hard mode especially, because it'd be too broken. But I do feel like, they could be a bit more viable. They're just so weak and just underpowered that, I can't really use them, practically at all. Ideally, you'd want to combine, your ki weapons and the Super Saiyan forms. So anyways, what am I doing now? I decided to go to the dungeon. I headed back for whatever reason. I'm guessing, I forgot torches. This is something I do pretty much all the time. The developers of, just the original Dragon Ball Terraria mod, they did post a little update on their YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to that in the description. In one of the update logs, they did say they did want to rework Kaioken to where basically it works is how Kaioken will not start draining your life until an X amount of time. So, I think it's what Kaioken, the first form, it won't start draining your life till after 3 minutes of use, and, it'll start draining your health normally. This is a pretty good change in my opinion. You should really go watch that. It really does just kind of update you on the new changes and new forms that are added. To my knowledge, that update hasn't been released yet. I'm not really sure when. To be honest, I'm not even sure if the developers are still even working on this mod, because they haven't uploaded to their channel in a while now. And this isn't really too popular of a mod, even though it's really well made. It's just not really too popular, probably because it's an anime #1. So most YouTubers won't really do videos on this because you kind of have to, I guess, watch the anime to sort of know what's going on or what's what. I mean, who knows? Maybe they have released an update and I just don't know, because, T-Monitor loader, just kind of crashes every time I start it up now. I'm not even sure why. I'll probably have to go in and disable pretty much every mod and then just re-enable it one by one and see what's happening. But yeah, one of the reasons why I haven't actually logged on is because Team Leveler crashes every time I start it up, which is fun. But good thing, you know, I have like 10 hours of actually probably like closer to 20 hours of just unreleased footage I haven't actually done yet, because I've been making more Battles 2 content, as that's a lot more popular than my regular content. So, or not my regular content, Battles 2 is my regular content, but it's more popular than, you know, my other videos. So, you know, I guess I'm kind of encouraged to do more of it. Anyways, let's discuss the dungeon. First off, what do I need from here? Well, as you see, I did get the Dragon Radar from the mechanic. That was the kind of the main reason why I unlocked the dungeon. And of course, you know, you need it later on for ectoplasm and whatnot. But also, enemies drop skeletal essence, which I do need to make the next tier weapons. And to actually make the next tier of armor, I believe you need skeletal essence. Although I don't remember if I did actually make the next tier of armor, because, you know, I am using Hellstone right now, which is the strongest armor you can get in pre-hard mode. Well, at least defense-wise. Depending on your class, you know, you really don't really need Hellstone armor. If you're going, I think, range, I can't remember what the armor set's called, but it requires bones, so you'd want to go for that for obvious reasons, you know, get more range damage. But really, the only thing I really needed here was the Cobalt Shield, which of course, you know, I ended up getting almost immediately, and of course Skeletal Essence, but I didn't really feel like grinding all that out right now, so I just kind of grinded that out in chunks. Plus, I still need to beat Queen Bee anyways to make the Destructo Disc. So after, you know, exploring the dungeon a bit more, I went to go to the underworld to go mine some more Hellstone. Looking back at the footage, I really can't figure out why I did that. I recorded these sessions, you know, just a really long time ago, so I don't really remember exactly what I did. Is probably for some reason, probably make a Hellstone forge maybe, although I need a Hellstone sword to make Hellstone armor. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Here's my successful attempt at fighting Queen Bee after God knows just how many attempts at this. Also, with Queen Bee dead, you unlock the next level of Kaioken with the next Kaioken doll. I'm assuming, since I didn't use it, I'm assuming that I already had it. Also, because this is anti-buff mode, thanks to the alchemistNPC, I do actually receive, you know, small buffs that just kind of help out. I mean, the buffs aren't really too broken. A lot of the early buffs are just kind of meh, in my opinion, and not really, I guess, just worth it. Now here, I actually, as I'm recording, I actually remembered why I didn't actually use the Kaioken doll immediately, is because I didn't unlock the previous level. I'm not really too concerned about unlocking all the levels of Kaioken, because like I said earlier, you really won't see too much of Kaioken, as like really the HP drain just doesn't offset, you know, the damage you get from that. And don't forget, you know, you do have increased key costs with Kaioken abilities, you know, use active, so, you know, it's kind of hard to justify using it, because, you know, if I do use it, you know, I have a higher chance of dying, and I have a higher chance of, you know, just running out of ki in general, which of course is what I don't want. So I took a quick peek at the wiki and, well, found out that, of course, it was a Brand of Cthulhu to I actually need to get the next level of Calican from the previous level that I should have already gotten. It really just goes to show that I'm not really too concerned about getting Calican because I can't even remember which bosses, you know, drop it. But, you know, I can't remember, like, what levels I do, what bosses, you know, I need to kill in order to, like, get the next level of, you know, Super Saiyan, because Super Saiyan actually will be used a bit throughout this series. Now, back in season 1 of Dragonball Terraria, I skipped out Super Saiyan God and went straight to Legendary Super Saiyan. This series I really don't want to do that. I do want to explore a bit of Legendary Super Saiyan God. I will eventually have to switch out, you know, Legendary Super Saiyan because, well, in the Dragonball Terraria add-on mod, which is, you know, is the mod not made by the official Dragon Ball devs, they do have Legendary Super Saiyan has its own special attacks. Of course, I do want to try out, although unfortunately, Calamity add-on does Dragon Ball add-on does add Ultra Instinct into this mode, I guess you can call it. So I do also want to try that out, but I'm not really sure if Legendary Super Saiyan, you know, overrides Ultra Instinct. I can imagine, I guess not, because I think, you know, Ultra Instinct is on even with Legendary Super Saiyan. I don't know. It's been a while since I really watched Z or Super. I really don't even think I finished Z, actually. And of course, you know, back in season 1, if you did see it, Legendary Super Saiyan, you know, was really strong, and I was actually able to use it. I had so much ki and so much ki regeneration by the time I got to Moonlord that I was actually able to use my forms as well as weapons as well as fly. And I know that sounds like a lot, but you know, something you'll notice is that, you know, I can't really make use of all the techniques I have available to me in Dragon Ball Terraria. It's simply just because you don't have enough ki, or there isn't enough ki regeneration at the moment to actually, you know, do said thing. So here I was actually able to get my Calican doll on the first try, which is fantastic for me. So I guess, you know, I could just sell the rest of Bloody Spines I bought. If you are, you know, the slightest bit curious to see, you know, what the Calican forms look like, you know, here's, you know, what they all look like, you know, 1 through 4. As you can see, you know, not much changes. It's just a larger aura. I mean, I don't really think Calican actually changed anything visually in the original series, so it does make sense a bit. You know, it is a cool technique. Unfortunately, it just isn't really usable in its current state. So again, it's just kind of there. Now, thanks to my new Hellstone armor, I'm actually able to go up into the sky and not actually just, you know, get my health drained almost just immediately, because apparently in death mode there is cold and heat exhaustion, so you can die of just too much cold and you can die of too much heat. Hellstone protects against both of those, so I'm able to go up here at any time of the day. Before I had to go up here only at night, simply because I only had protection against cold, not heat. So what am I doing up here? Well, with Queen Bee dead, Harpy start dropping Astral Essence. With Astral Essence, you unlock the next tier of key weapons, as I call them, or as I call them. The really only one noteworthy, in my opinion, is Destructo Disc. I think you do unlock like Super Calican, not Super Calican. That's nothing. Super Kamehameha, and or just regular Kamehameha. While it is cool to see those from the series, I'll just say, you know, they really aren't worth using. You do have to charge both those techniques up, and of course there's a high chance of you missing, especially, you know, later on with bosses, you know, being fast, or there's like 2 targets to aim at once, so it's not really worth using. And you know, while you're charging, it does drain your ki, so the Kamehameha is something you probably won't see throughout this series. Like, I've made it to just Calamitize, regular Calamitize, but you know, I haven't used any like beam techniques once, simply just because they don't have much of a use. I thankfully didn't have to grind, you know, just too long to actually make the Destructo Disc, which is pretty nice. I just need the bare minimum just to make it, simply because there's not really any other use for Astral Essence except for accessories. And you know, looking at my accessory list, there is a lot more accessories I would like. mainly just focused on key damage, but I feel like these accessories I have right now are just kind of, I guess, just essential and just necessary. So here I'm looking at crafting recipes for prideful key crystals simply because, like I said, I do want to expand my accessories. I'm looking at, beating Wall of Flesh right now, because really the only thing I have left, I think, on this list is really just Slime God, and well, I'm ready for Wall of Flesh. So I'm preparing for that and just looking to see what I do need in order to actually just prepare for that. Anyways, skipping over, quite a bit actually. I went exploring into the dungeon just to find more stuff. Basically, what I did was, of course, I was like looking just to craft accessories. Mainly was focusing on accessories that increased my ki. So, of course, I was going for that first. So, well, of course, the main thing I needed was, of course, skeletal essence. And I did get this cool weapon that unfortunately just won't use. I may consider doing a rogue playthrough of Calamity because that's pretty cool. So basically, what I wanted to do was just make some new weapons and, of course, just armor. So the first thing I needed was the Hellzone Grenade, which was a direct update, a direct upgrade from what I had before. Before that, I made this, which increased my ki by, I believe it was 250, and this can be upgraded further to be increased to 500, which is actually pretty nice. So now I'm gonna have to choose between, do I want extra ki, or do I want, extra armor penetration? And of course, with my Hellstone armor and my Sayian battle armor, I'll have to choose again between damage, ki damage, and of course the amount of ki I have over defense. Now, of course, while I'm exploring the underworld, I accidentally ended up summoning the Wall of Flesh, so that's always fun. I enjoyed doing that. I tried ended up putting my money in the bank simply because, well, I knew I was gonna die. I was like nowhere near ready. I wanted to lose as much money as possible, or not lose as much money as possible, keep as much money as possible. So after exploring in the dungeon for a little bit more, I grinded enough skeletal essence to make the Hellzone Grenade, which is a direct upgrade from what I believe it's called the Scatter Shot. Basically, from doing more damage from the Scatter Shot, what the Hellzone Grenade does is basically it's a pseudo seeking weapon. What you do is you kind of shoot it in the air, and it'll stay there, and then it'll home in on the closest enemy around it. If you've seen Dragonball Terarria Season 1, it was pretty good and basically annihilated Wall of Flesh, but of course, since this is death mode and it's Calamity, I do expect it to be a lot harder than it was back in Season 1. No, I must say, Dragon Ball Season 1 was a bit too easy, if you ask me. It was kind of unengaging towards the end, because most bosses just ended up getting pretty much like deleted by every single key weapon, even on like expert mode. So it is nice that, Calamity is providing a bit more of a challenge. It's not as hard, or not as easy as it was back in season 1. Anywho, after that, I decided to, prepare a bit more for Wall of Flesh. So, of course, I started making my bridge. Now, I did attempt Slime God a few times. I lost every time. I've been close a few times. I could definitely do it if I just, just try a bit more. Well, of course, it's not that I definitely can do it. It's like I know I can do it because I've already beaten him. But of course, I'm not in this session here. Pretty much all this footage you're seeing here actually came from one like 3-hour session, which is actually a bit rare, simply just because most times when I'm making these videos, I have to sift through like 4 hours of just whatever in order to actually make these videos. It's part of the reason why, uploads of this are so slow. It takes kind of a lot of effort to just edit, and it doesn't see the most amount of engagement from, I guess just my channel in general. Battles 2 consistently has been doing just a lot better than this in general, but episode 1, season 1 of this series, did of course amass a large amount of views, but I can't really say the same about season 2. It's not that it's like getting no engagement, but it's just hasn't been receiving, I guess, just too much. Anyways, it was basically what I did getting the episode here. I feel like it's been going on long enough. I feel satisfied with it. Anyways, if you did enjoy the video, like, comment, subscribe, or do whatever. Join Discord. The link is down in the description.